Good evening, everyone. Myself Karthikeyan, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, Government College of Engineering, Sengipudi, Tanjavur. Today, I'm going to explain the concept of operators in Java. We know that if you want to perform any action with the help of programming languages, without the help of operator, we are unable to do that. So if you want to learn any programming language, the first of all, we must to know what are the different type of operators will be supported by the particular language. So then only easy for us to write our own expression or own calculations we can able to do with the help of a programming language. So first of all, we must to know what is operator. So we know that operator is a symbol, so which is normally used to perform certain kind of operations. Correct? So operator is a symbol used to perform some certain kind of an operations. So with the help of this operator only, we are going to perform a different kind of calculations. So next one, we need to discuss what are the different kind of an operators will be supported by the programming language. So normally the operator, the operators can be classified into two types based on the number of inputs needed. One is called as a unary operator, and second one is called as binary operator. So if you are saying the operator is a unary operator, the operator needs only one operand, then it is called as unary operator. It means that operator needs only one operand, needs only one operand, then it is called as unary operator. For example, I'm going to say minus 5. So here minus is to represent the sign of the number. So here minus is an operator and 5 is a operand, that is called a value. Then it is called unary operator. Clear? And also increment and decrement operator is coming under the category of unary operators, because A is only one operand we have and this is an operator. So that the operator here, the operator only one operator needs only one argument, that is only one operand, then it is called as unary operator. The next one is a binary operator. So if you're saying the operator is a binary operator, the operator needs two arguments or two operands. Two operands means it is a value, then it is called as binary operator. For example, 4 plus 5. So here plus is an addition operator. This operator needs two operand, then on two value. Operand means it is a value, two value, then the operator is called as binary operator. For example, I'm going to say 4 less than 5. Finding the relation between the numbers. So this is called as binary operator. Same way, we are going to classify the operators based on the functionality into 8 categories. The first one is called arithmetic operators. From the name itself, we can able to define the purpose or the functionality of the operator. This is going to perform a different kind of arithmetic calculations. Yeah. So here, the first operator is an addition. So for that, we can use plus. So it is an addition operator. So it is used to perform addition of two numbers so that it will be act as a binary number. And next one is we are going to use minus. So it will be represented as there are two bases. So it will be act as a subtraction operator. Sometimes you are going to check the negative sign. The sign of the number also it can be used for representing the sign of a number. So it will be act as a binary and as well as unary based on the category what we defined, based on the category which we defined in the expression. And the third one, it is called as a star. It is called as a multiplication operator. So the multiplication operator is to perform a multiplication of two numbers. So that we need is a binary operator. And third one, there's a fourth one. It is a division. That is called as we call as quotient operator. You are going to find the quotient of two elements for the particular division operator. It is also binary. And next one is called the modulo operator. So normally it is a modulo for finding a remainder. So for finding a remainder, also it will be act as a binary. And the one difference between C and Java is normally in C and C++, this modulo operator normally we can able to support only for a whole number, but in Java this modulus operator will be applicable for different number. It means for any data type, for the number data type. Okay. Let us take one simple example. So I'm going to perform addition of two numbers. So I'm going to say equal to 2 and b equal to 3. I'm going to perform addition of two numbers. So system dot out dot print. I'm going to display the value of sorry. I'm going to display the value of a and b. I'm going to perform addition operation. So a plus b equal to so if it is a println, this is the best size for us to display one by one. So that I'm going to use println method. I'm going to perform minus. Same way multiplication, division, and modulo. So I'm going to represent modulo, and this is for multiplication. Sorry, flow division, and this is for multiplication. So just to simply I can change the type of operator I'm going to use. So now I saved my program. Now I'm going to run my program. So Java C operator.java. So in that program, I don't have any errors. Okay, just wait for the termination. So there is no error because it's a multiple declaration error we have because the name of the argument is also same. So that it is also a multiple declaration error. So now we can run it. Sorry, we can compile this program. So there is no error, I think so. If there is no error, automatically the dot class files will be created. So then I'm going to check what is my name of the class. So my name of the class is operator. So that I'm going to run my operator class. So operator. So the values will be displayed. Is it clear? So this is the way we are going to perform it. So this is the concept of arithmetic operators in our program. Clear? Okay. Next one, it is a relational operator. So normally relational operator used to find the relation between the two numbers. A relationship, if you are going to define find the relationship between the two operands. So find the relationship between two operands. So it means that so here it means that all the operators on this category must be a binary operator. So the relational operators are greater than or equal, greater than or equal. Third one is less than, less than. Next one is less than or equal. Next one is double equal for checking whether two operands are same or not. So that I'm going to use equal operator. Next one is not equal. So exclamation symbol and it indicates what? Not equal. And a very, very important thing I forgot to say in arithmetic operators. In arithmetic operators, the inputs must be a numbers. It may be a whole number or fractional number. Or output also must be a number. Then for relational operators, the input must be a numbers. Output must be a true or false. That is called Boolean. Boolean as an answer. Clear? I already told that there is no equivalent numerical representation for true or false. Always you can say if it is a true, there is a conditional means that a relational operation is true, it returns a true, always it returns false. So here there is no numerical representation for that. And the third one is called as logical operator. Before that, I am going to define what it is with the help of a programming language. Find the relation between the number. So greater than b, greater than or equal to, less than or equal. So and not equal. So I'm going to use not equal. So I'm going to change my operator. So not equal, equal. So then less than or equal. Here I'm going to use less than, greater than or equal, greater than. So now I'm going to compile my code. So program name is operator. So that I'm going to compile the operators. So no issue on my operator. So I'm going to run the code. So the 2 greater than 3 is false, 2 greater than or equal to 3 also false, 2 less than 3 true, 2 less than or equal to 3 also true, 2 not equal to 3 false, 2 not equal to 3 is false. So like that it shows an output. So that always for that input must be a numbers, it may be a whole number or fractional number, but output always must be a true or false. It is a boolean values. It is a very important, you must remember. So without remembering the input and output of this operator, it is very difficult to perform a calculation and assign storing your values. Yeah, okay. Next one is a logical operator. Logical operators used to connect two or more relational operations. So that the input for this logical operator is, the input for logical operator is, no, it is a boolean value, that is a true or false. So that output also must be a true or false. So that is called boolean. Boolean means it is a true or false. Clear? Okay, means with the help of this logical operator, we are going to check it whether we are going to connect it to, we are going to connect two or more relational operators by using logical operator. Sorry, by using logical operators. So there are different kind of logical operators supported by the programming language. One is called as logical AND, so that it will be represented by ampersand ampersand. We called as logical AND. Logical AND. It follows the truth table of and the logic gate. If the both the input, both the condition is correct, it will return the output. I mean, it return both the inputs are true, then it return true. Otherwise, it return for the remaining cases. And for our operator, this is called logical OR. This is for logical OR, so that it follows the truth table of OR logic gate. And it is also a binary operator, and it is also a binary operator in this category. And third one is called NOT operator. Logical NOT follows the truth table of NOT gate. So here it is a unary operator, because for NOT gate we need only one input. If the input is true, the output is false. If the input is false, output is true. Clear? Okay, so now let us going to check this concept with the help of some example program. So I'm going to change the same thing here. I'm going to check the two conditions. One is A less than B. I'm going to test it. So I'm going to connect with the help of ampersands. Clear? So I'm going to say A greater than B. Sorry. So A greater than B. A less than Sorry, I did a mistake. Let's end of the file. Where is the mistake? Yeah, just a minute. Just a minute. I'm going to check my expressions. So now there is a small mistakes for binary operator. Yeah, yes, because this is a plus also, our purpose will be a concurrent operator, so that you need to change the priority of operator by using parentheses. Just now there is no errors. Now I'm going to run the program with the help of these operators. 2 less greater than 3 and 2 less than 3. So 2 greater than 3 is a 2, but 2 less than 3 is a false. So that true false, the output is a false. So like that we need to test it. So this is the purpose of logical operators. And the next operator is a bitwise operators. So normally this is a bitwise, the condition for a bitwise operator, it is only applicable for integer numbers. It means that it will be applicable for whole numbers. It means that we can able to apply only for byte data type, short, int, and long. So only these type of variables can able to apply. So it will be applicable only for integer number. It not be able to applicable for fractional numbers. So numbers applicable for input is, it will be applicable for only whole numbers. It will not be applicable for fractional numbers, and for output also must be a whole number. Output also must be a whole number. So generally there are different kind of bitwise operators we have. One is called bitwise, and also normally bit operations in bit by bit level. So there are different kind of bitwise operators we have. One is bitwise, and so that it performs the bitwise means perform the operation in bit by bit level. So next one, bitwise OR operator. Next we have a XOR operator. It is not a power operator. Actually, many of them is misunderstood that it is a power operator. It is not a power operator. It is a XOR operator. Then ones complement. It is called tilde symbol. Ones complement. Then also we have a it's called left shift. And we have a right shift operators. Also in Java, there is another one more that is called unsigned right shift operator we have. So this is the extra operator will be supported by Java compared to C++. Okay. So in bitwise AND operators, we are going to perform a bitwise AND operation between bit by bit level. For example, I can show a simple cases now. Example, for example, I am going to perform AND operation between 4 and 5. So the binary value for 4 is 4 is actually we are going to express in 16 bits. For easy understanding, I am going to express only on 4 digits, 0, 1, 0, 0. So binary value of 5 is so 0, 1, 0, 1. So now the result is I am going to perform a bitwise operation in bit by level. So that first is 0, 0. So and if you are applying AND gate, if the 0 means it is a false. So false, answer is false. 1, 1, answer is 1. 0, 0, 0. And 0, 1, 0. So the value is 0, 1, 0, 0. So this is the output of 4 and 5. So that equivalent decimal value for this case is 4. if I'm going to perform 4R5, the case is 0, 1, 0, 1. So this is the output for an OR gain. So that the answer is 5. And if it is an XOR gate, if it is an XOR gate, that if both the inputs are the same, the output is 0. Both the inputs are different, the output is 1. So here for 4 and 5, by using these two binary symbols only, we are going to be able to same. So the answer is 0, 0 and 1. So that it shows the difference is 1. So now we can check it with the help of this, with the help of some example programs. So I'm going to perform. So A plus double quotes. I'm going to perform the operation between A and B. So A and B. So here, for example, the value of A equal to 4 and the value of B equal to 5. I'm going to perform OR operation. And so I'm going to perform XOR operation. That's a problem I have in my keyboard. Sorry. Okay. So now compile the program after saving. So there is no errors. Now I'm going to run my program. So I told that 4 and 5, the answer is 4, and 4 or 5, the answer is 5, and 4 and XOR is 1, correct? So now it will be reflected same. So also I'm going to say for the remaining ones complement. So here it is a ones complement means one more thing I need to speak about it. For this case, this will be an act as a binary. The same way, bitwise OR operator is also binary, and XOR is auto binary. But once complement is here unary operator, it needs only one input. So then will be in a binary operator. It also be in a binary operator, and it also be in a binary operator. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to shifting. I'm going for ones complement operator. So if I'm going to perform a ones complement, I need only one input to perform an operation. So I'm going to perform ones complement of ones complement of value of B. So that I'm going to perform ones complement of B. Then next thing is I'm going to perform shifting operator also. For easy understanding, I'm going to say so now compiled. So now I'm going to run my program. So that see that 451. So ones complement of 5. So it is a -6. It means that so whenever you are shifting values to the left side, so it is a ones complement. So that first of all we need to convert the given binary decimal number into the binary. Then you have to because it is an integer. So that we need to represent in ones complement format. So that we need to represent in 32-bit format because in the Java for integer it allocates 32 bits, so that we need to represent in 32-bit format. Then after that we need to convert zeros and ones into zeros in the binary representation, so that even the 32 means MSB bit of this 32-bit representation also will be changed during these changes. So that 1 will be changed as a 0, 0 will be changed as 1. Initially 5 is a positive number, so that MSB bit is a 0. Whenever you are going to apply the ones complement, the MSB bit will be changed as a 1, so that now it will be converted as a for negative numbers, we know that the negative numbers can be represented in 2's complement format. So once again, we want to display in the form of a decimal number. We need to convert again. We need to convert back into the 2's complement. Then we need to take a 2's complement to get the exact value of your decimal number. So that whenever you are taking a 1's complement number, the positive number will be converted into negative, and negative number will be converted into positive. So there is a possibility we can able to we can get in a 1's complement format. But in case of shifting operators, so I think maybe you know that if I'm going to represent like this, in case of shifting operators, if I'm going to represent like this, for example, so 4 less than 2. So we know that the binary value representation is 0, 1, 0, 0. So now if I'm saying it is a 2, it means that I need to add 2 0 in the left hand. I need to remove 2 bits on the right hand, including a sign bit. So that we need to represent the value of this 4 in 32 representation. So after 4 digits, the remaining 28 digits must be in a 0. While you are representing the same 4 in 32-bit representation. Now we need to remove the last 2 bit and appending 2 zeros on the left hand, so that we will get so we have our input is 2. So here we have only 26 zeros here. So your sign must be with this a positive number, so that we need to treat it this is a positive number, so that we need to convert the find the equivalent decimal number for this case. Equivalent decimal number for this case is 16. So that it shows like this. So in case if it is a greater than 2, that is a greater than 2, that is called if I'm going to apply the right shift operators. Clear? So if I'm going to apply a right shift operators, I'm going to remove the last 2 bits of representation, including the side bits. So that here that if I'm going to change like this. Zoom, I think I hope you understood. So if I'm going to do like this, I need to remove the last 2 bits here, so that these 2 bits will be changed. So that we are getting that remaining 30 zeros will get. Here that means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So remaining 26 zeros we have appended here, so that number is still positive. So that number is still positive, so that the answer is 1. If you want, we can check it with the help of these concepts. We can check with this simple example. But here in a while, doing a right shifting operator in sign representation also may be changed, so that we need to so if you want to avoid for shifting of sign operator, we can use triple arrow mark for unsigned shifting operators. So now you can compile the program, so then you can run this program. So we need to run this. So for 4 greater than 2, it's a 1. For 4, the concept of bitwise operators. Still, I can repeat, bitwise operator only applicable for whole number. It not be applicable for fractional number. If you are trying to apply for the fractional number, the compiler makes an error message. So normally, if the bitwise operator perform the operation in bit by bit level, so that for every input will be converted into equivalent binary number, then we can perform the corresponding operator, a bitwise operator. Then you have to again convert back into the decimal format for a resultant answer. So next one is the increment decrement operator. So normally increment and decrement operator is coming under unary category. So normally for increment operators, that means that you can you can either increment the value of the particular variable by 1 or subtract by the variable by 1. So normally this increment decrement operator only applicable for in C and C++. This increment decrement operator is only applicable for whole number. But in Java, you can apply this increment decrement operator for both positive number as well. Both whole number and as well as a fractional number. But normally this increment decrement operator is only applicable for variable, not applicable for constants. Means that we can't able to apply for the numbers. It means that I'm saying that you can't apply for 5 plus plus or minus 5. So like that, not possible to apply. Clear? Okay. So here the increment operator means it is a plus plus. It is a increment. And for decrement, it is a minus minus. So the equivalent answer is, if I'm saying a plus plus, it means that the value of the current variable plus 1. If it is a minus, it is a minus 1. So for example, there are 2 types. We have a post increment or a decrement, or next one is pre increment or decrement. So post increment and the decrement and the pre. So in this case, if it is a pre-increment or a decrement, the values will be reduced or incremented based on the concept. Then the value will be assigned on the corresponding location. But in case of a post-increment, the values will be assigned, then it will be performed. So the working principle of this post and a pre-increment operator is a similar concept of C. Okay, so next one is a ternary operator. So for ternary operator, we can use it is a question mark symbol. So normally it is a replacement of if else statement. Normally it is a replacement of if else statement in program. In branching statement, replacement of if else block. So if that means also we have another one more condition we have for applying the ternary operator. The number of actions in if and else block must be 1. So for these cases, we can use the ternary operator. The syntax is we can write the condition here. Condition, then true statement, then followed by false statement, and finally terminate with a semicolon. That is called true actions and false actions. This is a syntax for ternary operator. So here true actions and false action is separated by colon. Clear? Okay. So and the next thing is assignment operator. So normally this assignment operator is having a lowest priority, but it is also a binary operator. So normally this assignment operator can be evaluated from right to left, even if you have more than one operator can be present on the particular expressions. And the next special operators, normally the special operators will be called as an instance operator. Normally this instance of operator will be used to check whether the particular object belongs to the particular classes or not. If you want to check that, check the instance of the particular class, we are going to use the instance operator so that the name of the object, then the syntax is you are going to define the name of the object. That is our object name, then followed by instance of class name. So if it is correct, then it returns a true. Otherwise, it returns false. So there is an instance of the input must be an object and the output must be a true or false. That is called the booleans. So these are the possible different type of operators will be supported by a Java programming. So maximum all kind of operators what we discussed in C is similar to that. Only the difference is in arithmetic operators, the modulo operator is applicable only for a whole number in C and C++. But in Java, it can be applicable for both fractional number as well as both real whole number as well as fractional number. And the next one is for a bitwise operator category, there is a one additional operators will be used to added in a Java, that is called unsigned right shift operator. So normally whenever you are going to perform any right shift operation, so normally the right shift can even disturb the value of your negative, MSB bit. There's a sign bit also. But if you are using a triple arrow mark, it will not affect the negative blocks. Means that is the sign bit of the particular number. So then increment decrement operators, it is similar to the Java, and a ternary operator, it is similar to C. Assignment, if you want shortcut assignment also we can apply the same concept. But here we don't have a size of operator. Here we don't have in C size of operator we have, but here we don't have a size of operator. So here I need to list out what are the unary operators we discussed. One is a minus symbol, maybe it will be represent the sign of the number. The next one logical not. Next one ones complement operator, and next one is increment decrement operator. So then that's all. These are the different kind of the unary operators we discussed. So I hope that still I can recall it. So without the help of operator, we are unable to perform any operations in Java. So that if you want to have a good practice or want to know many things about Java, first of all you must to have a clear idea about operators.